All right, so we are streaming live. Good evening, everyone. I should be posting the URL to the stream. Okay, yeah, copied it. So, if you can hear me, just do me a favor. I'm gonna post a link here on the chat. Just copy that, paste that link to your social. Yeah, copy and paste that link to your socials. Let everyone who can connect to the um, let everyone who can connect directly to the event be able to connect via YouTube. Thank you very much.
Hello. Hello.
Wow. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. Um, Let me see. Chris ought to be around any moment from now.
And let all of us lose. That wasn't not now. I'm not doing love. Just might not those boys come carry laptop. Please, I'm warning anybody. Anybody that did that thing is just for you are living in a very different environment. I don't want to sleep and find out
Hello, everyone.
He's here.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So sorry I came in late. Leslie, can I have the YouTube link? A couple of people are asking me for it.
Okay, the YouTube link. Okay, hold on. I think let me just repaste it now.
If you send it to my DM, so I can just forward it to a couple of them.
Oh, okay. All right, so let me first of all make you a host. Yeah. And so you're the host now. And you can begin. I have shared it to you. I've shared the link to you. Let me even share it to your WhatsApp in case you miss it.
Will I be able to see? Will I be able to see the YouTube comments also? Or I
Oh,
would have to open YouTube on my own.
yeah. So if you open the page, all you just need to do is open that page and keep it on mute. So people who are on the who are watching on YouTube can comment and you'll be able to respond.
Okay, let me do just that. Hello, everyone. My name is Philemonn.
Praise, you're gonna have to increase the volume though.
Eh?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. This is cool.
Have you sent it?
Yeah?
Have you sent it?
I sent you, yeah, check your WhatsApp.
Okay. All right. I guess we are good to go. Yeah, have you sent it? I sent. Trying to open the presentation file so that it's not much of a problem. Share screen. Just to be sure, can you guys see my screen? Let me open the chat room.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah. Hello everyone. It's good to be here. Let me open up the. Okay, yeah. Hello everyone. It's good to be here again. I'm trying to fix both the. All right. Good. Welcome to the Branding for Designers detox session. Technically, what we'll be doing today is that we'll be talking about. Yeah, is it recorded? Leslie, is it recorded? Leslie.
I think it's going to YouTube, so it will be there on YouTube.
True. Yeah.
So we're doing more
So,
than record. We're actually streaming, so it's gonna live forever on YouTube.
yeah. So it's kind of on the YouTube, so you guys will be able to meet on YouTube. So contrary to what was put on the Eventbrite session, what this session is supposed to talk about is to teach you how to build your personal brand as a designer. So for the next 30 to 45 minutes, I'll be telling you a story, sort of, and then I'll be giving you pointers as to what happened and how we did it, or how I did it. But first, this is not a sales session. It is not a marketing class, right? I'm not teaching you how to sell. I'm not teaching you how to put yourself in front of customers. That's not my job, right? That's not the job of this session. Fortunately for us, a friend of mine, Moski, already handled this in his class a few days ago. It's a paid class, and I think he has the recording session available for free, or not free, sorry, available for a cheaper price, and you can easily just DM him if you need it. What Moski actually teaches you is the short or medium term game. It teaches you how to, how to sell immediately to your customer, how to immediately get that sales done, how to get things running, how to survive as a freelance business. That's what Moski teaches you, and he does it really, really well. And so I don't want to repeat what he has said. So this is not a sales/marketing session. No, it's not an entrepreneurship session. So if you want to learn how to make money and how to do all of those things, part one of it is already done by Moski. So this is a spin-off, right? Or season 2. So what we want to do today, just before I start, gentlemen, shall we? I like this part of it. I'm doing this because I just started watching originals. And so it's just like really fun to refer to it. So what's a brand? Everybody knows this technically. Most brand designers know this. They refer to a brand as, they refer to the brand as people's perception about your business, people's perception about your brand, people's perception about what you do. Just before I continue, I'd like you guys to, I'd like you guys to chat real time, right? Comment your thoughts, comment whatever you're thinking, so I can this is supposed to be like an interaction. It's not like it's not like it's not a lecture class. It's not a lecture technically. So I want to interact with you guys overall. So YouTube and Zoom, I want you guys to consistently share your thoughts. So back to what we are talking about. So what's a brand? Brand is people's perception about you. It's literally what people are thinking about you. If people call you proud, that is what you are. It is not necessarily what you are, it is what they think you are. And that exactly is your brand. Your brand is not necessarily what you call yourself. Your brand is what every other person calls you. And so you get things like, I don't care what people think about me. In branding, everything about your brand is what people think about you. It is not really you. So what you do in branding, when you say branding or I'm branding myself, it's not that you are telling people what to think. It is that you're trying to influence them to think exactly what you want them to think. So I define branding as the intersection between company goals and customers' expectations. So the customer says that because you're talking about personal brands, so I'll be really, really private and personal about it. So the customer calls me and says, praise is arrogant. But what I actually am, or what I want to be, is that praise is kind. When I say I want to brand myself, what I'm trying to do is I'm not trying to argue with the customer that I'm arrogant. I'm trying to ensure that when the customer thinks of me, he doesn't think of arrogance. What he thinks of is kind, right? Because that's what I want. That's what I need from the customer in order to make sales, in order to connect with the customer. When the customer does not change his perception, my branding effort has failed. That is what branding is technically, right? In a couple of minutes, we'll be discussing what makes up branding. But for now, I just want to reiterate what brand means, right? Now, if this is what a brand is, then what is a personal brand? A personal brand is still the same thing. People's perception about you, right? A personal brand is not changing. It's just the prefix behind it, personal. But it's still the same thing. It's not changing. It's still you as a brand, and people still looking at you and making particular assumptions about you. And then whatever happens after it is based on whatever you've done, whatever you are, and how they describe you to themselves or to their friends. That's what a personal brand is really. And so there's really no big difference in the conversation of corporate branding and personal branding. However, how then is it different from other kinds of brands? The way I like to describe personal brands is this, is that corporate brands find what people like and align to them, while personal brands choose what they are and find people who align to it. Ideally, a brand personal brands are what a brand should be. However, in the spirit of industrialization, every other person, a lot of people are just like, trying to make short-term profits, short-term gains. And then the branding experts are just like, okay, you know what? Let's not focus too much on what really makes you different. Let's find what these guys would connect to and then play that trumpet, right? And that you see this a lot of times in music. And that's where we're going to like really, really define the difference between personal and corporate brands. You would think that Wizkid is a personal brand. Unfortunately, it is not, right? You would think that Davido is a personal brand, in quote. Unfortunately, he isn't. Why? Because the content of their brand in total is based on what people want to hear, really. It's not really based on their sound. You understand? And then you'd see that when you listen to them, you'd say, you hear people talk about Wizkid is just saying nonsense, but I still like him. The video is just, the lyrics is not strong enough, but I love the beat, right? Because what these guys are doing is they are looking at the mass, the choice of the masses. The masses want Afrobeat that has no sense, and they just create it. They say Joro 50, 100 times. They tell you fame for no reason. They look for fights. They look for, just basically the random entertainment marketing thingy, and then they just do it, right? And then it sells, and then we begin to shout, Wizkid versus Davido. They jump on every single beef gist on the DM, and then like consistently like talking about it and jumping about it, and like just to make money, just to build the numbers, just to do this, just to do that, right? It's really um, corporate for them, right? So they don't really care really about whether it's their direct expression. What they just care about is, are there people who want this kind of thing, and can I just pick it up and communicate that to them? Yeah, that's one. Then there's the personal brands in music who are true to themselves. They're true to their choice of music. They're true to that kind of person. And then they just find people who are aligned to it. A really big person I respect when it comes to personal branding would be Eriga. Eriga. You guys would know Eriga. Eriga is this worry rapper, right? Eriga is not a big rapper, in quotes, right? Currently, he will not mention top 10 and you mention Eriga, technically. Why? Because Eriga is personal in his lyrics. He's himself. You can hear his story. You can hear his person. You feel like you know him personally, right? Because it's coming from himself. Another person you would say has a personal brand would be Fowls. Another person you say has a personal brand would be Adekunle Gold and Sesimi, right? And you'd see technically, you'd see it in how they communicate. You can also see it in how unapologetic they are in when they talk about their business. Quick one, can you guys hear me? I think I lost myself there. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, sure, we can hear you.
Yeah, cool. So, uh, so that's like the major difference between personal brands and corporate brands, right? Corporate brands are way short-term minded, and then they iterate from there. They are more of what do people like and how can we sell to them. Personal brands are like, you know what, we want to find people who are like us. Corporate brands are, we want to be like what people want. It's like the basic fresh difference. And I'll tell you, we're about to get into the reason why we talked about this in a minute, right? Because I'm going to like break some tables, possibly, and permit me, if you're on it, get ready to be broken. So first, let's discuss how people talk about their personal brands, or let's discuss how people build their personal brands. Effectiveness, efficiency, experience. The three things that almost always defines how any business or entity is run. So you're a freelancer, or you're an agency owner, or you work in a company. Effectiveness says that you look at your work, and the first thing you're thinking of is, how can I do more work with less time, right? How can I? So you have let's say A is equals to B, right? A is equals to B. What you want to do is, how can I do the same amount of work that I'm doing currently with less time? So if let's say you're a graphic designer and you do 5 posters every day, right? Every day. So you spend 8 to 5, that's 8 hours. You spend 8 hours every day working on 5 posters every day in your company. Effectiveness says that, how can I still create 5 posters, but with less time? So how can I spend 5 hours creating 5 posters? That's effectiveness. That's what a lot of people think about, right? You know, you're designing a brand, you're building a product, you're designing, you're doing motion design, whatever you're doing, you're like consistently trying to, do more with less, or do the same thing with less time, so that you can spend that time on better things. That's effectiveness, right? For efficiency, on the other hand, efficiency says that, how can you do more with the same amount of time? So let's go back to the 8 to 5 example. You have 8 to 5, right? But you do 5 posters. Now, your concern in efficiency is that, how can you do 10 posters or 7 posters within that same amount of time, 8 to 5. Do you guys get difference between effectiveness and efficiency? Effectiveness is saying how can you do the same amount of work with less time. Efficiency is saying how can you do more work with the same amount of time. Do you guys get? Now, the thing about running a business or running a freelancer or running a freelancing effort or hustle or working under a business or running a design agency, basically running any design business, is that all we do is focus on these two things, right? Our consistent complaints are around these two major things. Like we're not doing stuff, there's not enough time to do stuff, or there's too much work and little time, or there's we are always behind on deadlines. And everything here is just about us, right? Now our brand is not really us. The brand is like we as the owners of the brand are one part of the brand, right? There are other parts of the brand. There's the project you're working on, there's the client who wants the project, and there are the people who are around who are monitoring or observing you. These are people who are individually part of the project. But then all we do is we focus on us, and we are totally oblivious of the client. And then so far so good. Almost, I'm not saying almost every design business is run this way, right? Almost every design business is run this way. And that's why designers are one of the people that know how to say sorry the most, right? We can say sorry for the best, like can tell the client, I'm so sorry I missed it, I'm so sorry I did this, I'm so sorry I did this. We can apologize for the whole world. However, how can we build a brand if all we do is focus on things we can measure? You can measure time, you can measure the quantity of work, right? A brand is intangible, right? If everything we do is that we focus on the tangibles, what we can count, how exactly do you think you can build a brand, something that's totally intangible? How can you convert this quantity into quality? That makes sense, right? But before we get there, if you have a personal logo, say hi. Anyone here? If you have a personal logo, say hi. When you build your logo, you thought that you wanted to brand yourself. Say hi. Cool. So everybody's on this table. I'm about to break. I hope you guys have spirit, because if you have a logo, doesn't mean you have a strong personal brand. All you have is a logo. I'm not going to lie, right? If you have a logo as a personal brand, in quotes, you don't have a brand, because a logo is not a brand. And the funny thing is, we all know this, but we still do it anyway. Like, we know that this is not a brand, but we still do it. We do it because everybody is doing it, and we don't mind, right? But yeah, it's not about a fancy logo, really. Neither is it about a different Instagram account. Now, this is the painful one. You see people who do, let's say your name is Praise, for example. Say me, right? Personal account at Praise Philemonn. Designer account at Praise Philemonn Designs. Why? You have your business page and your personal page. One is branded, one isn't. Why? Like, what exactly is the logic here, right? It's really funny. But I'm not going to hit you guys yet, right? But really, yeah, a personal brand is not about a different Instagram account. It's not about having one Instagram account that has only designs, and then the other Instagram account that has your face. That's the second one. And then lastly, your brand is not a separate business. This idea of thinking of your personal brand as separate from your everyday life is fallacy. I think you guys should stop that, because it's not a separate business. It's not a limited liability company. No, the personal brand is you. It's you yourself. If you're a Christian, you said God created us in His own image, right? That image I created you in, that is your personal brand. And when He said, be fruitful and multiply, He was talking about your personal brand. But then we said, no, that we are not the personal brand. We want to create a separate business. And then we create this separate thing and then begin to worship it and begin to build it separately from ourselves. We are ignoring ourselves and we're just like pushing money into that one. I know the Bible also says that do not worship any man-made image, right? So technically you are sinning. So do not, technically, do not, right? Forgive, repent your sins right now and come back to the fold. So your brand is not a separate business. So what exactly does branding look like? When you say you want to do branding, what exactly does it look like? This is the way it looks like, right? So brand, remember I said branding or brand is about people, right? It's about experiences. It's about intangibles, what you can't count, right? Now, what does branding do? Branding takes you from point A to point B, technically. It's saying that I'm in point A, I don't know certain things, and I want to move to point B. Do you understand? So let's say you don't have enough sales, you want to make more sales. You don't make enough profit, you want to make more profit. You don't know enough people, you want to meet more people. You don't, what else do you guys not do? You don't have, you have low paying clients, you want to have high paying clients, right? So it's moving from point A to point B. What branding does is it helps you bridge that gap, right? Branding in connection with sales and marketing helps you bridge that gap. And I'm going to exactly explain to you what branding is, right? Because when people think of branding, all you guys think about is you think of identity, or you think of a poster, or you think of a logo, which is really, really painful. But in reality, that's not what branding is, right? So let's dig into it. Let's dig right into it. So remember, we settled it earlier on that your personal brand is you, right? Technically, your personal brand is done attending this personal branding class. Your personal branding is yourself. It's the way you sound. It's the way you talk. It's the way you cry. It's the way you react to things. That is your personal brand, right? And before we start this, I want you guys to accept that that's your personal brand. Firstly. Now, secondly is that your personal brand is not a corporate brand, right? When you want to build a personal brand, especially for freelancers, when you want to build a personal brand, you need to understand that it needs to be authentic. The moment you begin to get lost in what people want, you are just you get to be pushed around anyhow, anywhere, whenever, whatever, however. So that's the second thing we want to clear. And now the third thing we want to clear is don't think of yourself as another Coca-Cola or another Nike when building a personal brand, because you are not, right? Think of people when they think of their personal brand, they're thinking of, I want to be a Nike, I want to be Coca-Cola. No, don't, right? Because the Obama brand and the Nike brand they're both big, but they're absolutely different and managed differently. The Coca-Cola brand and this Cristiano Ronaldo brand are both big, but they're totally different and managed differently. Do you guys understand, right? So do not compare yourself. Don't think of Coca-Cola when you're thinking of personal brands, right? The Donald Trump brand and the United States of America brand are both different, right? So don't think of these things. Those are not people you should look up to, right? Don't look up to the Nike brand when you're building your personal brand, because you get lost in it, because you begin to do things that really do not matter. So what exactly does personal branding entail? When you want to move from point A to point B, branding, you are always presented with 3 bridges, 3 gaps, right? It's like you're in a canyon and you want to move from one end of the canyon to the other, and you have 3 amazingly deep, bottomless valleys. How do you cross from point A to point B? That's where branding comes in. Branding provides you 3 bridges, without which you cannot get to point B. Do you guys understand? Now, if you have 1 bridge and you don't have the remaining 2, you're on your own. If you have 2 bridges and you don't have the remaining 1, you're on your own. Lastly, these bridges do not have a specific order. I mean, it could be comms appeal identity, it could be comms identity appeal, it could be appeal comms identity. They do not have a particular order, but the basic idea of what I want you guys to really understand is that there are 3 different bridges that you need to cross when you are building a personal brand, when you're building a personal brand for a certain objective. Obviously, by now, you know that if you want to truly build a personal brand, the first step to it is defining your objectives. What do you want to see happen, right? What do you want to achieve? Because if there's no objective, you are just going to be turning on your own, technically. So, first bridge is identity. According to our illustration here, identity is basically anything that people can use to identify you. That's what identity is. It could be your style of writing. It could be your tone of tweet. It could be the words you use. It could be your logo. It could be your style of design. It could be your interests, right? These are the things that make up your identity. Identity is who you are. It is not just visual. It is how people would identify you, right? Now, think about this. Most times when people come in contact with you, how many times do they see your logo? Generally, as a freelancer, really, when people come in contact with you, how many times do they see your logo? Anyone? How many times do they see your logo? When people come in contact with you, how many times do they see your logo? Whether it is face-to-face or online or wherever, never. They don't see your logo technically, right? They see something that made them identify you. If let me give you an example. If I showed you a tweet and I didn't tell you Donald Trump tweeted it, would you know that Donald Trump tweeted it? Because Trump has a certain kind of tone to his tweets, right? You would know when a certain person tweets about something, right? You would almost get that, okay, this is the kind of person that tweets this way. And there are so many personal brands on Twitter and Instagram that you could easily derive without even looking at their username. You know that this is the person that tweeted this, right? So that's identity. Identity is anything that anyone can use to identify you. Then there's communication, which I use as comms. Communication. Communication is how you communicate to people, how you talk to people, how people hear you, technically, how people listen to you, how they come in contact with your message. Yeah, your message is not necessarily buy from me. Your message is anything you have an opinion on. Please, who is drawing on the screen? I think this person should stop. Your message is whatsoever, the message is whatever you have an opinion on, right? Whether it's a tweet, it's a call, it's something you're part of, saying you're part of a particular organization or a particular community, right? That's what communication is all about. And then we have appeal, right? Then we have appeal. Appeal talks about why should people care about you? Why should I listen? Assuming I can identify you, I have seen your message. Appeal is why should I care about your message? That's where appeal is. That's what appeal means, right? So let's try and mirror them into certain words you already know. So identity. Identity is what you call brand identity. Brand identity fixes identity. It's where you talk about your tone, your logo, everything that identifies you. Communications is brand communications. You'd have seen people who say, I'm an expert in brand communications. Yeah. Then appeal is brand strategy, right? So these are the 3 things that make up branding as a whole: identity, communications, and appeal. And so if you want to build a personal brand, you need to get these 3 things on lock. Now, you will be asking me, how do I do my brand strategy? How do I do my brand comms and identity? It's easy, I promise you. You don't have to be a brand designer to do it. Of course, if you're a brand designer, if you hire a brand designer, it'll be easier for you. If you're already a brand designer, you have an edge. However, you don't need a brand designer to define yourself, technically. So a brand is built by being, not doing. So we have started on how to build a brand. A brand is built by being, not doing. You don't build a brand by the things you do. I said communications. I said communications is all about how you tell your message to people, how you talk, what message you tell to people, what story you tell to people, your storytelling, your messaging, your tone, your voice, where you talk on. Do you talk on Twitter? Do you talk on Instagram? Do you talk on YouTube? Wherever you talk. Basically, how do you connect with your customers? That's what it is. I hope you got that. So that's what communication is. Now to build it, to build a brand, it's really about being, not doing. I have seen a lot of people who have held this school of thought that to build a brand you need to do something. You need to do stuff, right? A brand is not built by the number of designs you do. A brand is not built by the number of things you do, right? These things that you do contribute to your brand, but they are not your brand. A brand is built by being, right? And let me explain. Let me explain to you what a brand is built. Yeah, a good example is organizing your IG page, right? Organizing your IG page in a particular color or organizing your IG page in a particular manner, right? Is some form of identity, but identity in itself is not a brand. Remember, your strategy in itself is not a brand. Your communications is not the brand. If you can go back a little bit, remember that your brand is what people think about you. What you do in identity, communications, and strategy contributes to that perception, right? But in reality, how do you build a brand? It's by becoming, right? It's by being. It's not by doing those. It's not just by doing those things, right? It's by being. So if you so let's jump to an example, really. I will tell you guys a story towards the end, but let's just jump to an example, really. So, if you had a design brand, for example, or if you had a design company, and you said you wanted to build your brand, and then you did an event. For example, this is an event, right? This event is not my brand. This event does not define my brand. Do you understand? However, this event contributes to my brand. It contributes to how you think about me. It contributes to what you think I know. And then all of those variables, what you think I know, what you think about me, what I've said today, what I would say in a couple of minutes, aggregates together to now form a perception that would either be good or bad. So if you hated me before, right, this could make you like me, and then yeah, I have a better brand image. If you liked me before, it will make you like me more. Do you understand? Right? But technically, all what I'm doing currently contributes to how you think about me, right? But how you think about me in itself, right, is based on who I am, not what I'm doing. Do you understand? Do you guys get this? What I'm doing is an extension of who I am. It is not who I am, right? Being a teacher is not necessarily who I am, right? Teaching is what I'm doing, right? But being a teacher is can be what I'm doing, right? But being a designer who cares about the growth of other designers is what I am. However, for somebody else, being a teacher would be who he or she is, and volunteering for NGOs would be what they are doing. Do you guys understand it? Now, volunteering for NGOs who help other kids would be ways in which the teacher can add to her own brand. However, in my own case, teaching or sharing my thoughts with other people helps my personal brand, which is all about helping other designers grow, helps my personal brand grow or build it better. So a brand is built not just by doing stuff, right? Because if you randomly do stuff, you could harm your brand and do it good, right? So it's really built by figuring out exactly at its core what you are, right? Who you are, what defines you, what makes you you. Do you understand? I'll give an example really. So someone asked me a question, and this was like last year. He asked me and said, what makes me different? What makes me different? What makes my company different? And I said, my company is different because we have empathy, we care for people, you know, we really put ourselves in the shoes of the customer. And then he asked me a simple question: is that not what every other person does? He said, empathy should not be what makes you different. Empathy is your duty. As a designer, you're supposed to have empathy. It should not be something that makes you different. If it's making you different, then you're either delusional or you're in the wrong place, or you're doing it wrongly, right? So empathy shouldn't make you different. Just like a doctor saying, the reason why I'm a better doctor or I'm a doctor is because I like to save lives, right? I mean, even if you don't like to save lives, being a doctor compels you to save lives. So becoming something or being something is finding at its core why you do something, or finding at its core why you exist in this world, technically, right? And this might sound really inspirational, but that's what a brand is. Remember, I told you a brand is not what you can see or touch. A brand is basically what people think about you. Now, it's easier for people to think Praise cares about the growth of other designers than Praise holds a lot of sessions, right? Those are two different things. Do you understand? Praise holds a lot of sessions. It's like, okay, yes, how does that matter to me? But they say Praise cares a lot about the growth of other designers. Then a lot of people are like, okay, how can Praise help me? Do you understand? Because me caring for other designers' growth or me caring for businesses' growth is something that people can connect to. But me running sessions randomly, they can't connect to that. If I tell you I have a session, come and buy from me, you'll be like, okay, yeah. If you don't know me, you'll be like, okay, yeah, why should I do that? However, if I told you I care a lot about your growth, and over the last couple of years, I have helped other people grow, I have a course, buy from me. What connects to you is not the cost. What connects to you is the fact that I care for people's growth. And because I care for people's growth and you want to grow, you buy the course from me. So whatever you do only would make sense if who you are is strong enough or defined well enough, right? So you can sell all you want, you can market all you want, right? But if you truly, truly want to build a brand, it will not just be you are professional or you are good at what you do, because a lot of people are good at what they do. What will make you different is what makes you, what makes you different, what makes you unique. A lot of people say there are 7 billion people in this world and we have only limited words to describe ourselves. English language is very, very limited. So it means that when you're describing what makes you you, there is a big possibility that it might be similar to what somebody else somewhere else is describing themselves as. However, what makes you and that person different is how you say it. And that is the funny thing. When people ask you, what do you do, right? We are so much concerned about the titles. We are concerned about, I'm a designer, I'm a brand designer, I'm a product designer. We're so much concerned about those things. Totally we forget totally about what makes us us, right? Design, what makes design interesting to us, really. When people ask you, what do you do? You should not just say you're a designer, because trust me, they've heard a lot of things about who's a designer, brand designer, logo designer, graphic designer. They've heard a lot of these things, right? They want to really understand what makes design interesting to you and why should they care about it, right? So if someone asks you, who are you? You don't just stop at what you do. You don't stop at describing what you do. Things like, I'm a designer and I help brands and products. I build simple brand and products for companies who want to move from point A to point B. That is your duty. That is not who you are. If you don't move them from point A to point B, you are failed as a person, you are failed as a designer. What makes your design brand different is what is your brand, right? Because when they will talk to you to someone else, they can say, the guy likes this thing, the guy is this thing. I've heard people who, one of the things that clients have described me as is I listen, right? They say I listen a lot, like I'm a really good listener. And I'm like, oh, really interesting, thank you very much. But then it had given me a lot of referrals. And I hear people tell me that, okay, I heard I got your number from somebody and he said, you're really good at your job and you really, really listen. I don't have to repeat myself twice. Now, what he just said is in no way related to my doing my job, right? It's not related to me designing a book for you. It's not related to me designing a logo for you. No, it's not, right? Because I don't have to listen to build a good logo for you. Do you understand? But yet, it is what makes them. It's what made them come into my DM to say they wanted to talk to me, right? So a brand is built by being. So what you guys should be thinking about right now is what makes me me. When I'm within my friends, what is the one thing that stands me out? When I'm within other designers, what stands me out? Is it my imposter syndrome? Is it my ability to stay humble? Is it my ability to want to learn more? Whatever it is, figure it out, right? And write it down right now. Like right now, write it down. Please, pick one. Someone is drawing something on this thing. Can you guys please stop? Thank you. So I told you guys a story. I shared a story earlier on about this year. I left my company last year. This year was like it was a number of lows for me. Come on. I mean, from January up until like April, I was like moving in a circle. I couldn't move an inch. That's someone calling me Prince of Neptune, right? My personal brand had been so connected to my company's brand. And so you think of Neptune, you're thinking of praise. You're thinking of praise, you're thinking of Neptune. And I knew that, yeah, the first step is I need to change this. That's the first thing. Second thing is I could not reach out to my former clients anymore because I signed a non-compete clause, which states that I could not go after my old clients except if they had ended contract with my company and decided to work with me. That's the second one. And then there's a third one, which is that I had to start from ground zero, technically. So everything was like I was like a beginner when it came to branding myself and marketing. And I could remember that when I was going to write when I was going to um, when I was going to begin, I did a couple of things. Now, when I was doing them, I didn't intentionally do them. I was just doing them, like on autopilot. But looking back in retrospect, I found out that it's a lot of things. It's a lot similar to what most kids taught in his class, and he has been speaking about it on Twitter. And I think it's something. I think this was like a couple of things I did that helped me quadruple my income between the entire income I made last year. I quadrupled in between April and June. So it means I made times 4 of my income of 2019 in 3 months. Before you begin to become happy, note, branding is a long-term game. It is not a short-term game, right? Branding is a long-term game. It's not a short-term game. So the fact that I could do something that gave me something in 3 months does not necessarily mean that when you do it, you will get it in 3 months. No. Why? Because my circumstances were different from your circumstances. I already had a bunch of network. I had a bunch of friends. I had a circle already. I had some access you might not already have, right? And so if you want to earn certain results, you might need to start building your own from scratch. You said I'm breaking up. Guys, can you hear me? Just to be sure. Guys, can you hear me? Okay, good. Everyone can hear me. Yeah, so what did I do? Number one, know your audience, right? Know your audience. How do I explain this? This is what we're going to do together. I need you guys to get a note, whether it's on your phone or or a paper. I need you guys to get a paper or get anything because we're about to do some particular practicals quickly, right? And I would like you guys to screenshot it, share with me, probably publicly on Twitter or privately, anyhow, right? But I want you guys to get ready for this technically. I say a lot technically. So number one, know your audience. How do I explain this? Well, it's straightforward. Know your audience. Know who you want to sell to. Figure out who are they, where are they. You guys know this already. You can't sell to everybody. More importantly, you can't also sell to anybody. There are two things. You can't sell to everybody. You can't sell to anybody. You need to figure out exactly who you are selling to. How much are they making? Where do they stay? Who do they talk to? Where do they club? Where do they attend church? Who are their friends? Are they male or female? What kind of businesses are they in? What are they, small businesses? Are they large businesses? What amount of money do they make yearly? Who are their friends, right? Know your audience. Know your audience. Now you would not understand the importance of knowing your audience until it's time to actually work for them. And that's where the second one comes in. Understand their journey. When I say understand their journey, what I mean is understand how their journey intersects with yours, right? How would they find you? When they find you, how would they talk to you? What do they say? What are they interested in? What are their interests? How do they do business, right? Are they the kind of people who want things faster? Are they the kind of people who are willing to be patient for really, really good work? Understand their journey. Understand their journey. Do they refer people or they just bring you into their circle, right? Understand their journey. So that's the first thing. Know your audience, understand their journey. So I'll ask you, I mean, right now, I would say, why do you do design, right? You should probably have a couple of ideas in your head as to why you do design. The second question would now be, who do you want to sell to, right? I don't want to give you guys like a lot of big strategy paper because really branding is not about the big words and the big numbers. It's really boils down to what truly matters to your business. So one, know your audience, right? Who are they? Define it clearly, the best way you can, right? That's the first one. The second one would be understand their journey, draw it out, right? Where do they browse? Are they on Twitter? Are they on Instagram? Are they on LinkedIn? You know, figure it out. A lot of people keep saying, go to LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn. Your kind of audience might not be on LinkedIn, right? So you don't want to just be everywhere, right? Just like write it out clearly. It's very important that you write it out. It is very important because until you do so, you would not know what you're looking for, right? If you've attended my sessions before on pricing, I would say no, say no, say no, say no, say no, right? But truly, you will not know who to say no to unless you define who you want to work with. Do you understand? So understand their journey, know your audience. Now, the third one would be find experience opportunities. So let's go back to effectiveness, efficiency, and experience. You guys understand effectiveness and efficiency. Effectiveness says that you want to do the same amount of work with less time. Efficiency says you want to do more work with the same amount of time. Experience, on the other hand, is saying that what value, how can I improve the value of what I do to the customer or to the end user? How can I improve the value to the end user? So does it mean I need to increase time, or do I need to increase output, or do I need to reduce time and reduce output? What do I need to do, right, to provide more value to the customer? Now, more value is not necessarily the same thing as output. Output is something like this. You're doing logo, you're doing 10 product design screens, you are doing deliverables, you're delivering 2 posters. That is output, right? Input is you spend time, you spend data. That's input. Now, value is how the client feels, or experience is how the client feels before, during, and after the project, right? When you did poster for this client, did it sell out? When you did logo for this client, did it make him different? Did it make him feel better about himself? Does it make people feel better about his business? That is value. Now, not just doing those things, it's saying that how did I make the client feel throughout these processes, right? That's where experience is. So when you know their journey, when you know how they come in contact with you, when they DM you, when they chat with you, when they send you an email, whatever they talk to you, whatever they come in contact with you, or wherever they intersect with you, when you understand that journey, you're going to study it and say, where can I exploit? Where are the opportunities? What open opportunities are here for me to increase their value relatively? It could be when they chat you up, right? Hi, and then you can make them feel good. Do you want to be a friend to them? Do you want to be a partner? Do you want to be a therapist? Whatever you want to be that person, right? Improve their experience, make them feel better about themselves, make them feel open. Build that. When you're presenting to them, how do you want to present to them? You want to make them feel good. You want to do it over a call. Do you ask them not to text you features? Do you say you want to have it? You want to have a review over a call, or you want a text? When they tell you no, 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 you don't give up totally, right? You listen to them more. Find those opportunities, right? And next one will be exploit them ruthlessly. And I mean exploit them. I don't mean exploit your clients. I mean exploit the experience opportunities. Use them, like squeeze it. Squeeze every single amount of value you can create from that opportunity, even if it takes extra time, right? Because whenever you brand from the position of experience, you can't lose because the customer is the one paying. Branding is all about making the customer feel good about themselves. When they feel good about themselves, they feel good about who made them feel good. And then when they do that, they are bound to come back. A customer coming back is not necessarily, especially in design, it's not necessarily the customer coming back again. It could be a referral. It could be an uptick, whatever it could be, right? But if they don't feel good about themselves, right? You cannot build your brand that way, technically. Every brand that is great today is because the customers feels good. The customers see some sort of value. Now, why do we exploit experience opportunities? Because output and input are a constant across everybody. It means that even if they don't come to you, if they go to somebody else, they will get the same amount of input and the same amount of output, right? I want a poster, I didn't come to you, I went to person B. She will still give me a poster, right? So what exactly makes you different from person B is how you exploit those experience opportunities. How do you know how to exploit them? It is based on who you are. So we're going back again to the core. Remember, the core is a brand is built by being, not by doing, right? So now I told you to exploit experience opportunities, and your questions in your head is what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So it's not really about what if you're an extrovert, for example, right? If you're really bad as extrovert, it means you're really good at making friends and connecting with people fast. So you want to take that skill or that personality trait and imbue it into when you talk to a client, right? And make your client happy, make your client rest assured. Technically, if you're an introvert like me, it means that you're a good listener. You can listen to the client, you can stay back, listen to them talk, gradually ask those questions, let them flow in, you don't have the energy of an extrovert, but you have that homely, welcoming feel. You can imbue that too. If you are a community person, right? Or if you are a therapist, you can help your clients find the answers. You are selfless, whatever you are, you can take that, imbue it into your channels, and then use who you are to figure out what you want to do. Now, fifth one is build partnerships. Sixth one is don't just talk, discuss. So I'm going to talk about those two. Let me just go through the four of them because they're like they're interwoven. So the next one says be loud. No one listens to a dead man. And last one is brag honestly. So building partnerships. One of the biggest things that gave me a really good start was the partnerships I built. Now the partnerships I built were because I had access, right? I could call Leslie and say, hey Leslie, what's up? I am clientless. I need you to connect me to clients. Whenever you have someone, refer them to me, right? I could hit up my friends, Mudia, Leslie, let me that person for canvas, but I have the access already. However, if you don't have access, you build access, right? And so, start making friends on Twitter. Start finding people you can disturb on their timelines, right? You see all those random things they do online, those like this post and I'll DM something I like about you. Do it. Stop saying that it is popular, so you're wasting your do it, right? When you do it, somebody will like, and you will comment, and you find out that this person is a senior designer in Paystack, and he's already your friend, and you can just keep on talking from that. Basically, you can tell them, I like you, I've been stalking you, even though you have not been stalking him. You can say it, I've been stalking you, I love your work, I love Paystack. And then from there, if you are good at building relationships, which you should be, you can build a relationship, right? You can begin to become friends and build it from there, right? So build partnerships. Partnerships are very, very intentional because a lot of people are looking for people to outsource to. Trust me, people are looking for you a lot. People are looking for you. If you think there are no clients, it's a lie. People are looking for you. You're not just where they can find you. So a good way for people to find you is to build partnerships because when they are in conversations about what you do, they would keep on remembering you. Why? Because you're a friend to them. That's building partnership. Number two, which is going to help you in building partnership, don't just talk, discuss. So when you're building partnerships and building relationships, a lot of people are always bothered about putting their best foot forward. Don't. Really don't, right? Because no one is looking for another genius. There's a big likelihood that the person you want to be a partner with knows a lot of geniuses. Really, right? So just don't tell him everything you're good at. Really, just discuss. Just talk about things. Arsenal, Chelsea. If he's a Chelsea fan, tell him he hates Chelsea. If you're an Arsenal fan, discuss. Talk about life. Talk about death. Talk about that movie. Talk about that person. Talk about your celebrity crush. Talk. Discuss. Right? Relationships are not built from show-offs. They are built from random conversations, not deep conversations, random ones. And within those random ones, there are seldom deep, you can talk 10 random conversations, one deep conversation, 10 random conversations, one deep conversation, 10 random conversations, one deep conversation. But when he's going to remember you, he'll remember that you're a designer. But the reason why he will remember that you're a designer is because he talks to you a lot and he knows you have a good vibe. Now, because he thinks you have a good vibe, he will consider you as a good designer. Technically, right? So he says, he's a good person. I think I should refer you to him. So don't talk, just discuss. Now, this next one would be, so I said build partnerships, don't just, now when you have those partnerships, when you get those access, discuss with them. How do you get that partnership? Be loud, talk. Okay, so let's take it back a bit. Don't just talk, discuss is when you are talking in the DMs. Now, when you're talking publicly, be loud. No one listens to a dead man. No one knows what a dead man does, except if the dead man has done something before, right? The dead men who are popular today, who still talk today, the dead men who still talk today, talk because they were loud when they were alive, right? Be loud, be loud. Now, how can you be loud? It's now where it comes. Being loud does not mean tweeting every day. Being loud does not mean posting every day on Instagram. It's good, but no, it's not. It doesn't just mean that because not everybody can do that. Being loud means at every possible opportunity, you are putting yourself out there. Being loud could mean having an online portfolio. Being loud could mean helping somebody out. Being loud could mean anything, selling yourself. Being loud could mean going to events, being present, consistently showing up. That is what being loud is. And then lastly, brag honestly. This is very important because a lot of people think that humility is the best way. Don't talk. You see your boss and this person doesn't talk too much, so I want to be like him. It's a lie. The only difference between you and him is that where he brags, you are not present. He brags to a different set of people. Do you understand? Brag honestly. You have done 500,000. You've done 5,000 logos in your life. Say it. I have successfully done 5,000 logos. I have worked with 20 companies. If you have worked with only 2, don't say 5, right? Because honesty and authenticity are a big part to your personal brand. You can't always lie. One day you will be caught, technically. So, brag honestly. I hope you guys got back. And now, if you wanted to extra point, if you do just those one, if you do just this, right? You've made it in life, right? You will actually see progress. You will actually see obvious progress. But if you think that you want to add extra points, right? You want to make your brand better, do this. Number one, be patient. Remember, I told you this is a long-term game. It's not a 2 month game. It's not a 3 month game. It's not a 7 month game. My Twitter did not become the way it was because I started tweeting today. I've been tweeting since 20. I've been tweeting actively since 2018, right? I've been tweeting about design. I've been writing a lot of articles since 2018, and then all of these things built together is what is now aggregating to form that brand right now. So when I was in Neptune, I had done a lot of things. So even when I was alone and I was starting all over again, it didn't look like I was starting all over, right? I was just building on those things I had previously done. So be patient. If you have not done anything yet, it means it is time for you to start doing stuff. Be patient and start. That's one. Two, don't show off. Show up, right? Don't show off. Showing off is at every point in time, you're just trying to, push it out there. You're just trying to put yourself in front of people's faces. Every small thing, you're saying, I've done this before. Someone just trying to have a random conversation with you. And you're like, who are you? Do you know who I am? Don't do that. No, don't. Bragging and being proud and arrogant are two different things. Don't show off, right? You're being asked to show up, right? Be loud and be everywhere. Be where people would see you. But don't try to steal, in quotes, the spotlight. It doesn't work that way, right? Because when you do that, you don't actually build your brand. Instead, you just irritate people. Can someone please stop these things, please? So now the third one would be don't follow the crowd. And the fourth one would be follow the crowd. So let's explain. So don't follow the crowd in the sense that because you want to be unique, right? Don't do what every other person is doing it the way they are doing it. Don't follow the crowd. So if someone is tweeting, about something, don't copy, right? Don't copy and paste. If you are doing that consistently, you would only be pushing the other person's brand, right? The sky is big enough for everybody. Technically, the sky has more surface area than the land, than Earth. The land and water together. The sky has more surface area than the land. So don't copy people, don't follow the crowd, don't do what everybody is doing. Now, in the other one, the next one would say follow the crowd. Now, follow the crowd means there are certain things people are doing that already creates results. It does not harm if you do those things too. Now, the only difference here is that when you're doing them, do them uniquely in your own way. Right? It's very important that you guys get that. Do them uniquely in your own way because that's the only way you can really differentiate yourself, right? So if I tweet about design a lot and you're tweeting about design too a lot, right? The way I tweet about design should be absolutely different from the way you tweet about design. So that's following the crowd. Fifth one will be build alliances, understand competition, and exploit both. So this means that there's some people you would always you never agree with on the timeline or wherever you are. Understand that it is not a fight, understand it is competition, and exploit it well. Be like Davido and Wizkid, be like Ronaldo and Messi, right? It is not, they're not enemies, they're competition. Understand it and exploit it. Build alliances, find friends, build cliques, right? Use them well enough to the best of your opportunities and exploit them well. Next one is have polarizing opinions, stop being neutral. This idea of, I don't know, it's not my business. Stop it. It doesn't help you in any way. Let people know what you stand for, right? For example, the NSAS protest, a lot of people tried staying neutral. And then being neutral gives people say that silence cannot be misquoted. True. However, silence can be misinterpreted. These are two different things, right? It is fine to have polarizing opinions. You can say serif is better than sans serif. You can say sans serif is better than serif, right? Have polarizing opinions. These opinions are your own, right? And what they do is they build your thought process. They build the way you defend yourself. And more importantly, because they are polarizing, they help you stand out. Now, don't do it intentionally. Don't pick something that is obviously true and go against it just because you want to have a polarizing opinion. It is not branding, it's just plain as stupid. And then be unapologetic. Being unapologetic is saying that when you figure out who you are, even if it's not popular, and even if it's not popular, be that person, right? Because when you are that person, what you would eventually have is you'll have a bunch of people who will be loyal to you. Remember, I keep telling you, there are 7 billion people in this world. There's at least 1 million people who would agree with you. There's at least 1 million people who would agree with you. Do you guys understand? So then lastly, do free work, not just gigs. So by free work is not just doing free jobs for clients. It means writing free articles. Being apologetic, I said, let me finish. Writing free articles, writing, featuring for free on shows and talks, teaching people for free. Do free stuff, share your knowledge for free. You don't have to do it through carousels. It could be through tweets. It could be in a group that you're part of. Share it for free. You did something and you think that other people would learn from it. Create a template and share it with the whole world. Back to being unapologetic. It means don't give a fuck what people think. That's what being unapologetic means. Don't give a damn what people think. Be yourself. The way I tell my guys is, so there are 2 things that define the tribe and everyone who is part of the tribe. It is number 1, it is be authentic, and number 2 is family, right? And being authentic is saying that be yourself completely, right? The only time when you should not be yourself is if being yourself would harm somebody else. Don't be yourself. No, change. But be yourself. Absolutely. Right? That's what being unapologetic means. It means that if you have certain hobbies, go ahead with them. So that's that. And then lastly, own a tribe. And this part is something I can't stress too much. So I've said build alliances, but there's nothing as important as owning a tribe. Why do I say this? Is that a tribe gives you a set of people that are consistently, what's the word? They are consistently responsible to each other. Now, if anyone knows me and knows my brand, right, you would know that there's this set of people I refer to as the tribe. You would have known them a lot. They are everywhere, technically. There are basically about 14 people who are they're not all designers, but they are consistently responsible to each other. What is the idea of the tribe? The idea of the tribe is this. The idea of the tribe is, I'm finding word for word. The idea of the tribe is to spark individual brilliance through collaborative work. To spark individual brilliance through collaborative work. Own a tribe means you are working with people, you are responsible for people, you are selling people for yourself while they are selling you. You are working together, collaborating together on projects. You are building each other together. It is symbiotic. Yeah, it's a symbiotic relationship. How can you build a tribe? Go back to it, build alliances. Now, the idea of the tribe is to actually scale into something where people can actually form their own, join the main tribe and form their own small tribes. But then there are a lot of communities, right? And communities are big, they are large. Big communities and large communities are really, really hard to keep up with, right? So we have the design job caster community, about 1,700 people. Leslie cannot talk to 1,700 people. Now, how can you help Leslie attain or achieve his design community objective? It is by picking 4 people from Design Job Caster Group, and you guys can form this small tribe. And it's just the 5 of you, like a cult, and you're responsible to each other, right? That's what a tribe is, technically. So the idea of my tribe, or the concept of the tribe basically, is to help each person build their own brand, or build their own brilliance, or build their own genius by being responsible for somebody else's one. Because if you are in a tribe of 5 people, 4 people are responsible for your personal brand. That's the way it works. Responsible for your personal brand. 4 people are responsible for your personal brand. That is what makes a tribe very, really effective. The idea of the tribe is to contribute to the bigger idea of the design communities that we have around us, whether it is the Asha community or Design Job Caster community or any other communities we have in Nigeria. These communities are important to the growth of the design in the country. However, people make design important, right? Designers in those communities are what will make design in the country better. To make these designers better, it's not just having big events like this or having tweet chats and stuff. No, it is having this set of tribes, this circle of tribes that are consistently responsible to each other. And that's the idea of my tribe. That's the idea. That's what my tribe is trying to do. Do the tribe have to be those you personally know in your hood or in your workspace? Yes, it has to be. It could be different people that you don't know before. But if you have friends already, you need to build your tribe from them. You need to build your tribe from there. Because it is better that way. It is easier for you to build a tribe from people you know than from people you don't know. Yeah. So yeah, we've come to the end of today's class. Any questions? Any more questions? People have been asking questions already. Any more questions? So you're asking how can you create a tribe? The guys and I and Leslie are working on a couple of things that would actually help you guys with this idea. If you're also in the Asha community, Asha is also working on something similar to build this. But yeah, we'll get there. Any questions? Anyone? Any questions? Anybody? Today has been a really crazy day for me. So sorry this is not clear. I really wish it was clear. But yeah. Is there a level of expertise expected from members? Sorry. Is there a level of expertise? No, it's not. There's no level of expertise. A good example would be the people who currently form my tribe circle currently, level 5. People who form it are 2 years ago or a year ago, they were not, in quote, superstars. Like they were beginners, right? But then we grew together. I was really invested in growing. And now they are the ones investing in my life, technically. So building a tribe is definitely going to get back to you. Can we build a tribe right here? Someone asked another question. What's Asha community? Asha community, Lewis. Asha community is a design community committed to building collaboration and improving the brand of design in Nigeria, or improving how design is being looked or perceived in Nigeria and Africa at large. That's what Asha is. How do you build a tribe? Guys, so like I said, we, the original tribe, in quotes, are working on something that can scale so that every person can build their tribe, and you can own the tribe trademark. That's the TRIM-BBE, and then add your suffix or prefix to it. Once we do that, then we can do that before the end of next week. You guys can begin to use it. You can use the guidelines to reach out to begin to build a tribe around you. And the funny thing to it is that how can new designers connect with the design community? Okay, so let me start answering this question one by one. How to join the Asha community? The Asha community is strictly by invite. However, you can join the wait list through their DM on Twitter and they'll get to you. For target audience, can the audience be more than one? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Remember I said you cannot sell to everybody and you can't sell to anybody. Those are two things you should keep in mind. Can we build a tribe right here? Yes, you can, Timothy. You can build a tribe right now, and then once we get things structured, you can say you want to join the bigger nation. How can new designers connect with the design community? Like I say, the best way to connect with design community is on Twitter. How do you connect? Stop DMing people. It doesn't work. So if you're here and you're a startup design, don't DM people. It doesn't work. It never works really. The way you can connect is by interacting with people on their timeline. Comment on their tweets, like their tweets, retweet their tweets, whatever you need to do, just do it. And then you just you build it from there basically. How can I join the Asha community? I already said that. How can I find them? Just Google it. I'm seeing America. Asha Koteri. So I'm going to type it out generally. Asha Koteri. So this is their past. Yeah, Asha Koteri. Do we really have a mentee mentorship in design brands? And it is the tribe we are talking about, sir. Okay, so can you be an expert? Let me see. Let me continue the question. Lewis, just send me a message on Twitter and let's talk. Boss, well done. Thank you very much. So defiantly, when you have a form of different perspectivity design from someone not in your Timothy, can you ask this question well? Timothy, can you ask this question well? I didn't get that. Mr. Ekom, can you be an expert in 3 to 4 fields in design, including motion, or it's just been unfocused? Yes, you can be an expert. I have always seen generalism and specialism as a really, really relative topic. However, the idea of niching is not doing one thing. It is being known for one thing, right? Being known for one thing allows people to be able to communicate or talk about it to other people. So you don't want people saying he's a designer, he's a tailor, he's a barber. It doesn't make sense to somebody they're talking to. However, you can be all of those things. I'll give an example. Fowles is a great actor, right? Fowles is a great actor. He's a good comedian, and he sings well. He also does activism well. However, despite the fact that he does all of these 4 things, when you think of Fowles, what you think of is his music. Do you understand? Yeah, he's good at many of those things. So yes, you can be an expert in 3 to 4 fields, or you can be in 5, 10 fields. Doesn't really matter, really. People have the potential to do more than one thing. It's not being unfocused. However, when you want to talk about yourself, when you begin to say, I do this, it sounds like you're showing off. So you want to figure out what is the one thing you want people to know you for, and then build from there. Do we really have a mentee mentorship program in design brands? Or is this the tribe you're talking about, sir? So the tribe is going to be launched, say, in 2 weeks. The tribe nationally, the idea of the tribe is going to be launched in 2 weeks, and you guys probably understand how to build your own tribe and how to communicate this to other people. So Shama, Adeyemi, just stay in touch. What's your Twitter handle? My Twitter handle is at Philemonn. Technically, I'm the only person that bears that name on Twitter. Well, Philemonn. So a tribe can consist of just 4 peeps. Say we all have our ways and work intersect, and we love our ideas and way to push each other. Yes, ideally, a tribe should not be more than 5. Ideally, a tribe should not be more than 5. And one person can belong to 2 tribes. That's another one. Can I unmute to ask a question? Okay, for brand designers, is choosing a niche part of building a personal brand? Yes, remember I said, same thing as what Ecom said. I said that niching is about people knowing you for one thing, not doing one thing. So when you niche, for example, for someone like me, I do product design, I do brand design, and I do consulting, strategy, and all that stuff. But when it comes to what people truly know me for, I would say brand design, right? I'm a brand designer that happens to do other kinds of stuff. That's what niche is about. So if you do a lot of stuff, it is fine. You can be an expert in everything. But when you want to communicate yourself to people need to know you for one thing, and then you can build from there, right? When you think about Coca-Cola, you don't think of Diet Coke, you don't think of big mama size, whatever. You just think of that 6 naira Coke, even though they have a lot of other products. When you think of Indomie, you think of that 16 naira super pack, despite the fact that they have other sizes, right? When you think of Nike, you're thinking of their shoes, despite the fact that they have merchandises and stuff. So you can do a lot of things, but people should know you for one thing. Damn, please drop a message. I don't think I wanted you on mute. Any other question? Can any of the branding bridges change over time? I don't get what you mean. Remember, I said that what you do in those bridges are still the same, but I said that those bridges don't have to follow that pattern. It could be appeal, communications, and identity. It could be appeal, identity, and communication. It could be anyhow. Really, it is not it is not a step-by-step process. Really, it's much more iterative. So in the beginning of a tribe is really helpful. Please can we have a session on that? No, we cannot. However, what we can do, like I mentioned, I said we're going to release something that will help you guys know how to build a tribe. Damilare, can the identity change how you communicate? Can it change? Yes. If you're a person, you're allowed to change. If you change, then your identity can change and how you communicate can change. Will this video be available on YouTube for reference? Yes, it would be. So yes, Damilare again, the identity can change. It is allowed to change. How you communicate can also change. If your identity changes, if your person changes, technically. For example, if you used to be a single man as a personal brand, and then you married, you can't be talking anyhow on Twitter. A good example is Adekunle Gold. How do you maintain clients in case of rebranding? You communicate to them. That's another way you can actually improve the experience. You want to say you want to rebrand, you can send an email or a notice to your clients. Hello clients, we are working on a rebrand because we have found out that the core of our brand is supporting clients in the best way we know how. And in the spirit of this, we would like you to be part of this rebrand and tell us what you think you love about us, right? You can do that, for example. To maintain clients in case of rebranding, involve them in the rebranding process. Any other question? But if you just change, and you change, they will change too. Being a beginner that does a lot of free jobs, when should you stop doing that and start looking for gigs? You don't exactly stop doing free jobs. I still do free jobs. I still did a free job yesterday. You don't stop doing free jobs. Free jobs allow for flexibility, they build new relationships. Free jobs do a lot of things. But when do you stop doing that? When you have enough free jobs on your portfolio, when you have enough things to show your portfolio, you can stop doing too much free jobs. So when you have like 4 or 5 study projects, send it in. So there's nothing wrong in managing one social media handle. Yes, there's nothing wrong. There is absolutely nothing wrong. So I think this is where I go back to say that there are a lot of people who have 2 things. I don't say why you need to, especially when you're going to be a freelancer for a very long time. The one person, let people be able to see what you do and who you are in the same place, right? Let people see who you are and what you do in the same place. It allows them to build the perception better and on the spot. Really, it allows them to know whether you're the best person to work with or not. So yes, guys, if you have separate accounts, try and match them together. Hard. How do you decide when to do free jobs or not? So Saji Habib said there are 5 things to think about. There are 5 things to think about when it comes to doing free jobs, right? The first one, you have 5 questions to ask. The first question would be, give me a second, I need to check this. All right, so 5 questions. First one is is this job going to be very visible? Is it going to be very, very visible? That's the first question. But that means a lot of people see what I'm doing, this free job. Two, is it going to allow me to do more work with this person? It means that if I do this free job, will this person come back and give me more paid work? Three, is it a great project? Is it something new? Is it something exciting? Is it interesting? Four, is it profitable? By profitable, it means that is it hope I won't lose money? Is it something I can do without, is it something I can do technically? Do I have the bandwidth to take it on? And lastly, is it for a good cause? So if the answers 4 of these questions, then you're good to go. So again, is it going to be very visible? Will a lot of people see? That's one. Two, will it allow us to do more paid work? Three, is it going to allow us to do a really good project? Is it exciting? Four, is it profitable? And lastly, is it for a good cause? Next question. How do I brand myself on Instagram? I thought Instagram is mainly for your works, aside from carousels that teach people how well you can show who you are. One, Instagram is for you. That's the first thing that you should start with. Instagram is not for your works. Instagram is for you. Your works are an extension of who you are, right? By showing what you can do. So yeah, you can post your work. How do you brand yourself on Instagram? That's where showing your personal self comes in. You know, your images, your showing your workspace, showing the music you listen to. That's how you brand yourself on Instagram. You know, people you are interested in, your thoughts, selfies, your stories. That's where you brand yourself on Instagram. Carousels, yeah, you can do carousels really. Carousels are not really, they don't really make you stand out per se. But yes, if you can really create really unique content, yes, carousels can also help you. I want to quit my job by January. I feel it's slowing me down in building my portfolio and growing as a designer. I'm thinking of mapping a journey that will help me balance by that time, such that I will have more clients than I serve. I don't know why you want to quit your job. Your job is not killing you. If your job is not a bad job, don't quit it yet, right? Transitioning into freelancing is not an easy thing. Don't quit it yet. Build your client list while you are working that job. And then when you have enough clients, quit your job. Isaiah, how do you move into freelance fully? It's simple. You just move. You just move. Is Behance the best place to build one's portfolio? No, have a website. Have a website. When you have a website, it's easier that way. But if you don't have money to build a website yet, do Behance. How do you move into freelance fully? Again, just move. Just move. It's not, just move, right? Just decide it one day that you want to do freelance and announce it. Nothing special. Again, to move into freelance, it means building your personal brand. So you can take into consideration everything I've said today and use to build Team Mouse or Team Trackpad. Team Mouse and Trackpad. Any other questions, anybody? You don't have a website, it's Wix or Webflow advisable. Any of them is advisable. Any. As long as it gets your job done. Any of them is advisable. I don't have a job. In fact, designing is not my forte, but it's a part of what I'm into. I'm a photographer and artist. Lewis, brand yourself as a photographer. Brand yourself as a photographer. Same thing I've just said, it can apply to anything. Do the same thing I've just said, but for photography, it's going to work still. Talk to your clients, make their experiences better and stuff. Matthias, what do you think about branding for startups? I don't get that question, Matthias. Can you explain? Can you explain that well? What do you mean by that? Matthias, what do you mean by branding for startups? Harry, what was your question? Is Behance the best way to build a portfolio? I said yes, it can. But another great way to build a portfolio is your website. I mean, should startups invest in branding? Startups should invest in branding if they are ready to play the long-term game. If they can't, they should go and spend money on Canva. I keep saying branding is a long-term game. It's not just logos and stuff, right? Some of them might invest in logo and identity. Cool. They can get that done for them. But if they want to really invest in building perception with their clients, they need to be ready for a 6 months to 1 year investment, technically. But a lot of people, when they say they want to do branding, what they're talking about is they want to have a logo. What's the best way to create a website? I mean, host and stuff. I thought Behance was a dedicated site for all that. Behance, yes, it is, right? But then website allows you more freedom to communicate your how do I explain this? Behance is a great place for portfolio. But website allows you much more freedom to communicate your brand to people. Because forever, when you do it on Behance, Adobe consistently has their brand over yours. Team Figma or Team Adobe, it is Team Figma and Team Affinity. What do you do? Someone asked me a question. It says, what do you do when a referral stands between you and the real client? Let the referral take the glory, and in any meeting you want to have with the client, let the referral be available. So tell the client you are working for the referral. Let the referral take the glory. Do you understand? A lot of times, the reason why we want the client to know we're the one doing it, the reason why the referral is in between is because he wants the glory. Tell the referral that, hello, I'm going to say you hired me. I'm working with you, and let's meet the clients together. So what should I to the site? Levis, Google will do this for you better. I'm my website designer, but like I said, anywhere, anyone works. But if you don't have enough money, just use Behance. Just use Behance. I think that'll be all for today, really. James David, you can either go ahead. James David, you can either just go ahead with it, and if you think it's something you can manage, go ahead with it. If you think it's not something you can manage, just say no and move on. Really. So yeah, thank you guys very much. It's been so. Daibil, shout out. Thank you guys so much. It's been amazing talking to you guys. I really appreciate it. You guys know you can DM me on Twitter. I will reply you on Twitter, definitely. You can DM me on Twitter, and if we vibe a lot, we can probably move it to WhatsApp. Thank you guys a lot. I'll see you when I see you. Thanks to Leslie for this session again. Leslie, I appreciate it. Have a nice night, everyone. Leslie, I think you can take over now.
I think you have to make him the host.
Yeah.